Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Daily Football Roundup proudly brings to you the best damn podcast in the world, the 12-Ounce Curl Route Podcast. I am your host, Aaron Current. You can find me on Twitter or X at Aaron Current. My co-host, Kyle, can be found there at DF Roundup. And my homie, Corey, does not have the app, so you'll have to send him a letter. How we doing, fellas? What's going on?
Merry Christmas early.
Merry Christmas. Santa's brought us some gifts tonight.
Mm-hmm.
The six-pack challenge has been adjusted to 16 games. This is my chance to make a comeback or fall on my face. One of the two is going to happen, but we'll figure it out. But a great week of football, you know. I almost feel like we just got to hop right in because we got so much to go over tonight. What do you guys think? And
let's do it.
We're going to be up till 1 in the morning if we don't hurry up and get started and get through this because
YOLO.
We got a lot to say, but not so much time. Feel like Santa, and we're trying to deliver all these presents in one night. So we got to have some magic tonight, boys.
You kids are getting baseball bats and dolls. That's what everybody's getting tonight. So we'll start off with the 12-Ounce Curl Route Podcast. Big spread of the week last Sunday at 4:05. The San Francisco 49ers, man, I am tongue-tied tonight, traveled down to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. They win this game 45-29. Myself and Kyle had San Francisco minus 13.5. Corey, you thought Arizona might have pulled it off and covered the 13.5, but they did not. San Francisco beats Arizona and locks up the AFC West. NFC West. Golly, I am struggling.
Let's start over?
No, if we start over, we're going to be up till even later. So we'll just try and power through. Not much to say. Christian McCaffrey's a monster. Their defense is defensing, and San Francisco looks like the best team in the league. What do you guys think? Kyle, what do you think of this one?
It's pretty much what you said. They're the best team in the league. I mean, there was one play, and I was watching this game pretty intently because I have CMC and Trey McBride in one of my fantasy leagues, and I think Brock Purdy stepped up in the pocket and then rolled to his left and found a wide-open Christian McCaffrey deep downfield who caught the ball, fell, got back up, and scored a touchdown. This team just has so many weapons on offense, and 5 touchdowns from this offense, 3 from CMC, 2 from Deebo Samuel, and then on the other side of the ball, it's the Trey McBride show, pretty much. I think there was maybe 4 or 5 receptions from the wide receivers for Arizona, which you can't have that. I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona takes Marvin Harrison with their top pick if Chicago doesn't get him. We'll see. I
did see a play by Arizona where he was throwing it to Trey McBride, and it either got deflected or bounced off his back. Another tight end was coming in behind it and catches the ball.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. Corey, anything else on this game that you want to sprinkle on? Or
not really. You got Arizona out of the way. Now they can focus without any injuries. They can focus on Baltimore.
Absolutely. Oh, big game.
Huge.
All righty. The 12-Ounce Curl Route Podcast nail biter of the week did not turn out to be a nail biter. Dallas at Buffalo. Myself and Kyle picked Dallas +2. Corey, you picked Buffalo -2. So if you want to lead us off and tell us about these incredible Buffalo Bills all of a sudden just balling out, getting hot at the right time. What's going on? What are you thinking about it?
I think besides San Francisco and Baltimore, Buffalo's the best team right now. They had a bunch of stupid losses, but I mean, you all accosted me when I picked Buffalo on this one. I still think that whole month of being indoors, and then now granted, it was a warm, very warm 46 degrees in Buffalo, but I think that still mattered. Dallas is still probably up at the 2 seed, but I don't know. Buffalo, if they get in, they're going to be hard to beat as wherever they go.
Yeah,
they won't have a home game.
Yeah, defense travels. I was absolutely shocked by this game. It was boring. I had the triple screen on in the afternoon games, and I hardly even paid attention to this game because it was so out of reach so fast. I was just, so much for the Dak for MVP talk. That's gone now. Kyle, anything to add for this one?
was absolutely the James Cook show this week. Guy was catching everything, running everything. I mean, if James Cook is for the rest of the season what he was in this game against Dallas, like Corey said, I mean, Buffalo's going to be hard to beat, and they're going to come into your house in the playoffs, and they're going to smack you in the mouth. And honestly, they do still have a chance at winning the AFC East. It just depends on
Technically, yeah.
Miami finishes the season because I think they play each other week 18, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Uh,
I think so.
I don't. That could be the decider. If Miami loses this week to Dallas and Buffalo wins out week 18, I don't know what it looks like because Buffalo won that first matchup. So depending on what their division records are, I believe would be the tiebreaker. I think so. That could be a decider.
Yeah, it seems like nobody wants that first seed in the AFC.
Wow. Yeah, real quick. I mean, for all those people that, is James Cook the guy? Is James Cook the guy? I've always been a fan of him. I think he answered the question there. It's just a matter of the play call. So you'd give the ball to him some more and then just kind of take off the edge off of Josh Allen. And I think they realize they can call run play and it might be all right if you do it more than twice a game.
Yeah. They kind of tried to figure that position out for a while there. They had Devin Singletary there for a while, and seems like they got locked up with James Cook. They'll probably still end up drafting running backs because it's always good to have fresh legs and young guys coming in and out. But I mean, James Cook had a hell of a game. We'll move on. Saturday at 8:15 at night, the Denver Broncos traveled to Detroit to play the Lions, and myself and Corey thought Denver would cover the 5-point spread. Kyle correctly picked Detroit -5. Seems like they got their crap together. What do you think, Kyle? What do you think of this game?
This was, like I said last week, this was a get-right game for Detroit. They've looked like utter garbage the past few weeks. I don't know. I do believe they have one win since Thanksgiving, I believe.
Yeah.
But this was a get-right game for them. Denver is not near as good as they showed in November time, and Detroit just stuck it to them. So this Detroit's still a good team. They've had a lot of issues the past month or so, but Detroit's still a really good team.
Yeah, Detroit have 2 wins since Thanksgiving because they lost to your Packers. Then they snuck in a win against New Orleans, then lost to my Bears, and then absolutely demolished Denver. And I had money on this game even for Denver because I was like, I thought it +5. I thought that was free money. I mean, the way Denver was playing compared to the way Detroit was playing, I thought it was easy, but I mean, it is what it is. Detroit wins the game and continues to have a stranglehold on the NFC North, even with losing to some of the teams in the division. Corey, what did you think of this game, man?
Detroit, I thought they were going to win. I didn't think they win this bad. Good for them. As far as Denver's concerned, I have bet on them 6 times this year. And every time I've bet on them, I've lost. And it's when they're doing bad, I'm like, oh, they're just going to get their ass whipped. Then they come out and win by 20 and then vice versa. So if I see that damn horse on my TV one more time this year, turn it off. I'm done with Denver. I think they're done with each other, it seems like, at that point. So good for Detroit. Glad they won. That's about it.
Well, if you don't want to see Denver on your screen, then don't watch your Patriots this weekend, I guess.
That's
Sunday.
No.
Sunday at 1:00, the Chicago Bears traveled down to, is it down or over? I don't know, a little bit down, I think, to Cleveland to take on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns win this game 20-17. We all picked Chicago +3.5, and that half a point saved our ass. Chicago was up 10 points in the fourth quarter, blew the lead, and lost to Joe Flacco and the Cleveland Browns. The defense played great for most of the game. The Bears offense just couldn't do anything against the best defense in the league. They literally had like a 10-play drive at the 1-yard line. So that just shows you, like, I don't know. It was an ugly game. I watched every second of it. I thought it was a defensive masterclass, though. Both of these defenses looked playoff caliber defense, but the offenses leave much to be desired. Joe Flacco hit a couple of big passes in the fourth quarter, and that was really the difference in this game to me. Kyle, did you watch this one? What did you think of it?
I saw this one was 17-7, and I said, "Hey, look at that! This one's locked in. I knew I got this one right." And then you blink, and it was 17-17, and you're like, "What is going on?" Like Chicago had this one in the bag, but good for them for fumbling in it and losing because that's what Bears fans should want right now. There was an outside chance of them making the playoffs, and with this loss to Cleveland, it's over. Cleveland would have to really fall apart right now to miss the playoffs. They're almost guaranteed a spot at this point, and it's just to know that a Joe Flacco, Jerome Ford, Cleveland Brown team. No one would have guessed that they would be in the playoffs, let alone winning games. November, December timeframe.
Not so fast, my friend. The Chicago Bears still have an 8% chance to make the playoffs if they win out. Pull a little page from Lee Corso there. Yeah, I mean, Matt Eberflus just continues to break records. I believe he was, what was the stat I saw? 3 turnovers and having the lead in the fourth quarter with such amount of time left. It was 40-0 for the last decade, and now it is 40-1. Because of our genius head coach. I don't know if he's going to be around next year or not. I think it still seems like a week-to-week trial basis for him and the quarterback. So maybe things change in Chicago. Maybe they don't. We'll see. Corey, did you watch this one? What did you think of the game?
I did watch this one. It is technically down to Cleveland. As I just did some quick research, it is center of Illinois is 12 miles north from the center of Cleveland. So I watched this, and I couldn't imagine being a Bears fan watching this because that last Hail Mary where he basically was holding the ball, cradling the ball, and then he was like, nah, JK, and just kicked it back up to the Cleveland Brown. That's the most Bears thing I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So I think the Bears are still decent, though. Cleveland, that defense is just insane, though. I mean, they're just that good. Joe Flacco still throws one of the prettiest balls ever thrown. They got a legit shot to do some damage.
Go ahead,
Kyle. A fun fact from this one, and I know I put this in the chat, and Aaron said, "Well, it wasn't an interception, but it's logged as an interception." Justin Fields is the first player to throw an interception on the final play of the first half and the final play of the second half since our friend Brad Johnson did it when he played for Washington. I texted Brad that on Sunday, and he said, "Wish they wouldn't have brought that up." It's nice when they say the good stuff, not so great when they say the bad stuff. But I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, I mean, the officiating was horrible. Even the TV guys went back and showed the replay of the interception at halftime and showed it hit the ground clearly. The commissioner was in the building. By the way,
he picked every that week. Game?
There was some giveaway at halftime. Oh, okay. Every week, how often do we say, "Oh wow, how is that passer? How is that roughing the passer? Oh wow, how is that? This and that." Justin Fields has 0 penalties against him this year, and he gets hit consistently every time he slides. The halftime Hail Mary, he got drilled in the face by our guy Zadarius Smith, Corey, and no flag, no problem. They're going to end up getting Justin Fields hurt, and it's going to be like, these athletic quarterbacks are not very good about doing blah, blah, blah. It's going to be another – and it just – I hate to complain about officiating, but it's absolutely awful, and it's getting ridiculous. Our next game, this was on at the same time. I tried to find a quad screen to watch them both. I wasn't able to. Sunday at 1 o'clock, Houston traveled to Tennessee to take on the Titans and win this game in overtime, 19-16. We all had Tennessee minus 2.5. We figured without Coleridge, Houston doesn't really have a chance. Tennessee pulled out the Oilers uniforms for this game. They brought back Oilers favorites like Earl Campbell and guys like that to kind of rub it in the face of Houston. And I guess Case Keenum just kind of Michael Jordan it, and he took that personal. And he leads his team to victory in overtime. And Tennessee is officially eliminated from the playoffs with this loss. Will Levis is suffering a sprained ankle as of during the overtime period. maybe rough times in Tennessee. I don't know. It was just an ugly game. Like I said, it was on the same time as the Bears game, so I didn't get really see much of it other than highlights. But I don't know. Kyle, did you watch this or any of it?
Just when you think Tennessee's good,
Oh,
just when you think Tennessee it might be all right, they lose to a team that is just decimated right now with injuries. They don't have their starting quarterback. I think they were without two of their starting wide receivers this week. I think Dalton Schultz played. Actually, I think he did. Yeah, but yeah, how do you lose this game if you're the Titans? How do you lose this? It's in Tennessee. It's against a team that has a bunch of injuries, and you let it go into overtime and you lose. It's fresh. I mean, I'm not even a Titans fan, but I took Tennessee and I wanted to be right on this, and they blew it for us. So thanks a lot, Tennessee.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean, just like you said, they were coming off beating the Miami Dolphins in Miami, and then they do this. Corey, what'd you think of this? I see you wearing your Texans gear, so I'm sure you were happy. What'd you think of the game?
Yep, that's a very proud Stroud boy. Case Keenum has played for the Houston Texans twice, in 2013 and 2014, and now he is undefeated as their starting quarterback. Just throwing it out there.
He played college in Houston too.
That's true for the Cougars. I think doesn't he still hold like almost every record too?
I think it got broken, but he did hold it for a long time.
But anyway, this was a good win for Houston to be down that much and to fight back without your star quarterback. Tank Dell's obviously gone still. Nico was healthy, but Nico didn't have a Nico game, I guess. The big thing here was that Derrick Henry had, I don't know how many carries he had, but he had like net total yards of like 16 or something for passing and rushing. I think it was something small like that. That's insane to hold who every time he plays them, he averages 200 rushing yards. So the fact that they were able to slow him down, I think that's mainly why they won.
I bet that hurt a lot of people in their fantasy playoffs. If they made it, I mean, I guess Henry hasn't been what Henry usually is this year, so maybe they didn't even make it if he was their number one pick or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. The ugly game, in my opinion. And good on Houston for getting the dub. And we'll move on though. Our final game of the six-pack challenge last week, Sunday Night Football. The Baltimore Ravens travel to Jacksonville to take on the Jaguars. They win this game 23-7. We all had Baltimore minus 3.5. It started off kind of slow when I was watching it. I went to bed at halftime. I think it was 10-3 or something, and I was like, well, I'll see what happens in the morning. But I mean, Baltimore just locked them up. Jacksonville, with all the weapons they have, Christian Kirk and Calvin Ridley and Evan Ingram and Doug Peterson, they're just losing momentum down the stretch, and they really can't afford to. I don't know how far behind Houston is. I know they beat them, they swept them, so that or no, they didn't. They split, didn't they? So, I mean, sorry, Jacksonville, it sucks, man. If you let Josh Allen leave Jacksonville, I would gladly take him in Chicago opposite Montez Sweat. Corey, what'd you think of this one, man?
So Houston, Jacksonville, and Indianapolis are all 8-6 now, which is staggering considering how Jacksonville started this season and how the other two teams started. Jacksonville's just not right now. And I don't know what happened there at the end of the first half. I don't know if y'all seen that or not. They were driving, and instead of spiking with I think 12 seconds left, they hiked the ball. Okay, if you're going to do
another play,
yeah, well that's fine. Throw it to the end zone. Don't throw it to the 4 and like in between the hashes. Like I don't know what happened there. Jacksonville's just not playing right. They have to win out to get this division. They're still technically first, even though all three teams are 8-6. But like you said earlier, nobody wants this first round bye.
Yeah. Kyle, what'd you think of this one, man?
I think one of the toughest things for Baltimore while they walked out, obviously, is, the best, looking like one of the best teams in the AFC. And they lost Keaton Mitchell, torn ACL. And that was really their speed back. They don't really have that speed Not to take anything away from Justice Hill or anything like that, but Keaton Mitchell, he was popping some plays,
Yeah.
and that hurts. They still have Melvin Gordon, who they brought up from the practice squad, but I mean, Melvin Gordon, I feel like he was playing it, for Los Angeles back in the 1990s, I think, So yeah, big loss. While he wasn't, I don't think he was seeing a ton of touches a game, but that's big.
Yeah, the touches he was getting were definitely impactful. So without that, I mean, maybe the Ravens can find someone to try and plug that hole, but man,
I do think that Gus Edwards, given that there's only a few games left, they can ask him to carry the ball 15 to 20 times, and I think he'll be able to do it. We've seen he's been the touchdown vulture of the year, basically, besides Raheem Mostert. So I think he can handle like 10 more carries, honestly. And that might just be enough with Isaiah likely playing as good as he is. Say Flyers didn't have a good game at all, and they still put up this many points. So that defense is strong. Yes, it sucks losing him, and I hope he have a speedy recovery and be back. But I mean, I think Gus Edwards for the remaining games can handle the load if need be.
yeah,
With Justice Hill spelling him and stuff like that occasionally.
Yeah, we'll see what they do in this situation. I mean, I trust their coaching, so that helps them. We'll move on to this week. As I said at the beginning, Santa brought us some presents this week, and we are picking all 16 games on the slate this week. It's a long one, and we're gonna try and go through these quickly so that we're not here all night. But we'll start out with Thursday night football. New Orleans at the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams are 4-point home favorites. The over-under is 45.5. Money line for New Orleans is plus 164. For the Rams is minus 198. I'm going Rams -4, and I don't think it's close. I think the Rams. I think, Corey, you said it last week. They're pushing for that final playoff spot. Who you got, Corey?
I'm going to take the Rams -4 too. I know Saints didn't have Olave against the Giants, but it's still the Giants. As much as I love Alvin Kamara and he's on both of my fantasy teams, it can't just be the New Orleans Kamaras. Like, if without him, they can't do anything. I think this is like maybe a 2-touchdown game.
Yeah, Derek Carr hasn't worked out too well for New Orleans, and I expected him to really hit the ground running down there, but he hasn't. Kyle, what do you got on this one?
Rams are the better, healthier team, so I'm on Rams -4.
All righty, we'll move on. Saturday at 4:30 p.m., the Cincinnati Bengals travel to the Pittsburgh Steelers to Heinz Field. No, it's not Heinz Field anymore. I don't know. Whatever insurance company bought Heinz Field is where they're playing. Pittsburgh is 1.5-point home underdogs. The over-under is 37. The money line for Cincinnati is -130. For Pittsburgh is plus 110. I'm going Bengals. I'm going Jake Browning. I'm buying into this team. They're really fun to watch, with or without Jamar Chase. T. Higgins, the touchdown catch he made last week was absolutely incredible, where he caught it on the one and reached the ball over. The Bengals are fun to watch. Corey, who you got on this one?
Yeah, give me the Bengals. Even without Jamar Chase, T. Higgins is number 1 on most other squads. Tyler Boyd's a number 2 probably on some other squads.
Yeah.
So I think if the Jake Browning magic keeps going, I'm actually shocked this is plus 1.5.
Yeah, I was too.
I'm taking Cincinnati. Yeah, for sure.
What about you, Kyle?
Well, Mike Tomlin knew it was Christmas week, and he needed somebody new to guide his sleigh. So he asked Rudolph, and that's Mason Rudolph. Pittsburgh, I believe, and I haven't looked at this, but I think Pittsburgh is the only team to beat Jake Browning as the starting quarterback for the Bengals, because the first week he started, the Steelers, they beat them in Cincinnati. However, I think it's going to be a pretty dark night. I don't know if Rudolph's nose is going to shine bright enough. Give me Cincinnati -1.5.
Yeah, I'll take Rudolph over Trubisky any day, though. I'll tell you that. Saturday night at 8:30 p.m., Buffalo travels to L.A. to take on the Chargers. The Chargers are 11.5-point home underdogs. The over-under is 44. The money line for Buffalo is -800. For the Chargers is plus 550 at home. The Chargers did fire Brandon Staley, so they will have a new head coach. I'm not sure who they named the interim. I don't think it matters.
Or another.
Who was it?
a guy that's been a career Cliff something or another. Cliff, I don't know.
They didn't name Kellen Moore. That would make sense. I don't know. That's crazy. It doesn't matter. Buffalo's hot. Buffalo's riding this into the playoffs. Give me Buffalo minus 11.5. I think they blow out the Chargers, and it just keeps getting worse and worse in LA. What about you, Corey?
I'm surprised. Like, I wouldn't have been shocked if this was 31.5. I'm taking Buffalo. I've never seen a team quit more than what they did last week when they played the Raiders.
Yeah,
Give me Buffalo. Give me Buffalo 1,000 times.
Yeah, if they're quitting in divisional games, what are they going to do with Buffalo coming in? Kyle,
Right.
who you got?
Giff Smith is the guy's name. He's the coach for the Chargers. The Chargers are not as bad as they looked on Thursday night. I do truly believe that the players colluded against Staley and say, you know what? If we go out here and we look like dog shit and we just get run up on, maybe they'll finally get rid of him. And they did. However, we're talking about Buffalo, who just dog walked the Cowboys, right? They're not covering this 11.5. Chargers aren't coming near that. So give me Buffalo minus 11.5.
Sunday at 1:00, Seattle travels to Tennessee to take on the aforementioned Titans. The Titans are 2.5-point home underdogs. The over/under is 42. Money line for Seattle is minus 142. For Tennessee is plus 120. I don't know if Will Levis is going to play or not, and I don't know if it matters. Give me Seattle minus 2.5. Corey, what you got?
Seahawks have kind of been that's kind of like the Broncos with me this year. However, that was a huge win for them against the Eagles.
Yeah.
I think that team likes it. Like they love each other, and for that reason, the 2.5 is clutch right here. I'm going to take Seattle minus 2.5.
I don't feel like that last play at the Eagles game was actually an interception. I don't think he got his foot down. I think that the Seahawks should continue to move forward with Drew Lock as their quarterback because the last 2 weeks they've looked pretty competitive.
That's so weird to say. Oh.
Tennessee is dog shit. We found that out last week. So give me Seattle minus 2.5, whether they got Geno or Drew Lock at quarterback.
Watch Tennessee win this game. Speaking of getting feet down, David Njoku's heel was out of bounds. That shouldn't have been a touchdown. We'll move on. Sunday at 1:00, Washington at the New York Jets. The Jets are minus 3. The over/under is 37.5. The money line for Washington is plus 136. For the Jets is minus 162. We found out this week that Aaron Rodgers is definitely not coming back. So that made news, but I don't think it matters. Give me the Jets and their defense minus 3 at home I guess it's cold in Washington too, but yeah, give me the Jets minus 3. Corey, what you got?
I kind of want to take Washington on this, but after that debacle where they wasted 3 minutes to go 1 yard and didn't call one timeout, I don't know what Ron Revere's doing. I don't think he's alive on the sideline. That was the worst play calling I've ever seen. Jets, damn Jets, I guess.
That's kind of how I felt. I said it fast, but that was simply for time. Kyle, what do you got on this one?
Jacoby Brissett came in at the end of that Rams-Washington game, and he made this Washington offense look like this Washington offense should have looked all season. Zach Wilson may not play with a concussion, so that means Trevor Siemian would be in line to start. I don't trust the Jets offense, and I'm going to take Washington plus 3.
Whoa.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had Jacoby Brissett. If he starts, then that makes me.
He's not going to start. I think Sam Howell's still the starter, but if he struggles in this game, I think Jacoby would come in and
short leash on him.
Would. I don't know if it's a short leash, but Rivera's not coming back next year, so you know.
Yeah, I'm a little shocked that Eric Bieniemy hasn't. He went out there to try and improve his head coaching stock, and I don't know if he's done that. But we'll move on. Sunday at 1:00, Indianapolis travels down to hot Atlanta to take on the Falcons. Falcons are 1-point home favorites. The over/under is 44.5. The money line for Indy is minus 105. For Atlanta is minus 115. We did find out our guy, the Green Weenie, the Green Lizard, Mr. Heineke himself, is starting for Atlanta this week. But I cannot trust Arthur Smith. I drafted Bijan Robinson in nearly every single fantasy league I was in, and I think he put up a point last week in the playoffs. So that was fun. Give me Indianapolis going down to Atlanta and getting the win plus 1. Corey, who you got?
I don't even know if Michael Pittman's playing. I don't even care. Indy +1. I've already bet on this game. That's insane. Give me Indy.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Starting to sound like me and Aaron from last week. We were like, "Oh yeah, Dallas +2. I don't understand that. We've already bet on this." Arthur Smith, his dad, is the CEO of FedEx, and he is in line for a huge inheritance. And I am convinced that the reason that this Atlanta team is not better than they are is because this guy is a moron. You have Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, and you give the ball to Cordero Patterson. What are Jonnu Smith? What are we doing? Like, honestly,
They'll never see it coming.
I could go and coach a better game than this guy. Give the ball to Bijan Robinson and let him do what he was drafted to do. Throw the ball to Kyle Pitts, who you used a top pick on. Throw the ball to Drake London, who you used a top pick on. The guy doesn't know his ass from his elbows. Give me an Indianapolis +1.
Also, Sunday at 1:00, the Green Bay Packers traveling down to Carolina. Carolina is +5. They did win last week, so shout out to Carolina. You had one job, and that was to lose out. Over under is 36.5. Money line for Green Bay is -225. For Carolina is +185. It's gonna feel weird coming out of my mouth, but go Pack, go this week -5. I need y'all to help me lock up that number 1 overall pick, please and thank you. Corey, who you got?
Packers still technically have a chance to make the playoffs despite getting drubbed by Baker Mayfield. But it's the Carolina Panthers, so give me Green Bay Packers. It'll be a vacation for them going to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah, nice and warm. Go ahead, Kyle.
If it takes Green Bay losing to Carolina for us to fire Joe Barry, then so be it. But this guy is an absolute – I said Arthur Smith. I said Arthur Smith was an idiot. Well, guess what? Joe Barry is right there with him because this defense has looked like shit. How do you let Baker Mayfield have a perfect passer rating? The second player in history to have a perfect passer rating at Lambeau. The first one was Aaron Rodgers. Give me Green Bay -5.
Also at 1:00 Sunday, the Detroit Lions traveling to Minnesota. Minnesota +3.5 at home. The over-under is 47. Money line for Detroit is -180. For Minnesota is +150. I don't know who's starting at quarterback for Minnesota. Is it going to be Dobbs? Is it going to be what's his name?
Mullins.
Yeah.
Nick Mullins. Okay. I mean, he's fine. You know what? Give me Minnesota +3.5. We got to try and separate a little bit here, fellas. I think at home, I think the hook is what gets me. Corey, who you got?
I'm going to take the Lions. Even if you get the 3 points to the home team, they still have them favored by 0.5. I think that's insane. Give me Detroit all day.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, I don't believe in BDN like you do there, Aaron. So give me Detroit -3.5.
I'm probably going to regret that one. Anyway, Sunday at 1:00, the Cleveland Browns traveling to Houston take on the Texans. Texans are 2-point home underdogs. Over-under is 41.5. Money line for Cleveland is -122. For Houston is +102. I don't know if Coleridge is back or not. Either way, give me Cleveland and that defense -2. Go ahead, Corey.
Reverse psychology, give me Browns +2.
-2.
Or, you don't just get to take him at whatever you want, Corey. This isn't how this works.
I'm gonna buy it. I'm gonna buy it up. I'm gonna buy it a different way.
Coleridge being out is the deal breaker for me. I don't think he's gonna play. Their defense has looked really, really good. So give me Cleveland -2.
Sunday at 4 p.m., we got a Florida showdown. The Jacksonville Jaguars travel across the peninsula to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 1-point home underdogs. The over-under is 43.5. Money line for both teams is -110. So Vegas doesn't know what to do, but I am going to give Jacksonville -1. I like Trevor Lawrence better than Baker. That's what it comes down to for me. Corey, what you got?
Baker's playing Baker's playing like he should be the comeback player of the year because he should be the comeback player of the year. I'm going to take the Buccaneers.
Go ahead, Kyle.
Tampa Bay's not as good as they looked last week. Joe Barry's an idiot, so they looked really, really good. I don't know how this is a 1-point game, so I'm taking Jacksonville -1.
Sunday at 4. We're flying through these, by the way. Sunday at 4:25, the Arizona Cardinals travel into Soldier Field to take on the Chicago Bears. The Bears are -4 at home. The over-under is 44.5. The money line for Arizona is +180. For Chicago is -218. Could I wear this hat and not pick the Bears? You know what? I am. Give me Arizona +4. I think Bears win. The Cardinals cover. Go ahead, Corey.
I still really liked what I seen out of Chicago last week. I'm going to take the Bears -4.
Kyle.
These offenses are very, very similar, except the Bears throw to their wide receivers. The Cardinals don't. They throw to their tight ends. Defensively, since the Bears have added Montez Sweat, they've been a top 5 defense from what I've heard. Thanks, Aaron, for that tidbit
Probably
of
my next Bears
information.
jersey. So
their defenses looked really, really good. I'm actually afraid for Green Bay to play these Bears in Week 18. I envision the Packers having a chance Week 18, win in your end type of scenario, and the Bears are going to ruin that. I'm riding with Chicago -4.
a lot like last year, right, Kyle?
No, I think we beat the Bears both times last year.
No, I mean the
Yeah.
Sunday at 4:25, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Miami to take on the Miami Dolphins. Dolphins are 1.5-point home favorites. The over-under is 51. Money line for Dallas is +102. For Miami is -122. Give me Dallas +1.5. I like them better defensively than I do Miami, and I hate saying that with Vic Fangio being in Miami. He's probably my favorite defensive coordinator in the entire league. But yeah, I got to roll with Dallas. They better be pissed off after last week. Give me something, Corey.
I'll take the over.
You can't.
I know. Dallas still has to prove me. I mean, I don't know what happened last week. I picked Buffalo, but I didn't think they were going to be that bad. Miami, this is your chance to be called not frauds. Do it at the Hard Rock. I'm taking Miami -1.5.
Go ahead, Kyle.
This one was the last game that I picked because I looked at it and I was like, I honestly, this could go either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Dallas wins by 21. I really wouldn't be surprised if Miami wins by 21. This really could go, honestly, either way. I think that Dallas is going to play some pissed off football, and Miami's not built the same way that Buffalo's built. I don't even think Miami has tight ends on their team. So for them to run the ball, they're running it out of a spread offense. So I don't think that they can hit Dallas in the mouth like Buffalo did. So give me Dallas +1.5.
Sunday night football, the New England Patriots. I cannot speak tonight, guys.
New England.
I apologize. The New England Patriots travel to Denver to take on the Broncos. Broncos are 6.5-point home favorites. The over-under is 34. Ugh. New England money line +245. Denver's is -305. Fellas, I think this is a close game. Give me New England +6.5. I think they keep it close. And I don't know about the over-under. Maybe they hit under. Go ahead, Corey.
Pass. At 6.5. Give me New England. Why not? Shit. I don't know.
Kyle.
I feel like with Denver still having a shot at the playoffs and Bill Belichick, probably before this game, I don't know who New England plays next week, but he's already on to them. I feel like already preparing his interview after the game, we're on to this team. Denver is the better team, in my opinion. New England has not looked great, no matter who's under center. 6.5 is 6.5 is
sorry.
It's kind of a lot. Oh yeah, we're on to Buffalo. Belichick's on to his next job next year. Denver still has a chance at the playoffs. It's a long shot, but they still have a chance. I like Denver -6.5 for this one.
To be clear, I think Denver wins. That spread's kind of big. Monday at 1 p.m., the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 10-point home favorites. The over-under is 41.5. Money line for Las Vegas is plus 360. For Kansas City is minus 470. Give me Las Vegas traveling to Kansas City and getting plus 10. You give me 10 points, and you got Antonio Pierce. Get that team fired up an extra day. Everyone's going to be watching. Plus 10. Go ahead, Corey.
I'll take the Chiefs. I don't believe in any of the bullshit that happened last week, scoring 63 points against a team that quit. The Raiders are not good. Give me Kansas City all day.
What's funny is a few weeks ago, we pretty much picked this same thing. I think that the line was 12, and I picked Kansas City, and you guys were on Las Vegas. But I'm going to swap to the other side this time. I'm going Vegas plus 10. Yes, the Chargers quit on Thursday night, 100%. I guarantee you they did. But Kansas City has not looked great this season. I like Las Vegas coming in high off that big win. They don't have to win this game for me to get my pick right. So give me Las Vegas plus 10.
The Raiders. Monday at 4:30, the New York Giants traveling to Philly. Philly is an 11.5-point home favorite. The over-under is 43. The money line for New York is plus 490. For Philly is minus 675. Give me the Giants going on the road and covering the 11.5-point spread. This is a game I have already bet before I let that number get any lower. Corey.
Give me Tommy Meatballs or whatever they're calling him now. I'll take the Giants plus 11.5.
Hey, he said he doesn't like this anymore. I guess the Saints really wore him out on it. Go ahead, Kyle.
From what I've heard about this Tommy DeVito guy and the way that he's been acting and canceling and upping the charge that he's charging people, he's taken his 5 seconds of fame to try and basically, he's not good. Tommy DeVito is not a good quarterback. There's a reason why
NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Tommy
there's
DeVito.
a reason why this guy went undrafted out of Syracuse and then Illinois, right? He's not good. They're not good. The Giants aren't good. Philadelphia, they've got to come in and they've got to play pissed off. And I think that, unfortunately, for the New York Giants, I think that they are going to get beat up on this week. And I'm taking Philly minus 11.5.
That's a big old spread. Monday Night Football, Baltimore Ravens traveling to San Francisco to give us a Super Bowl preview, fellas. San Francisco is a 5-point home favorite. The over-under is 46.5. Money line for Baltimore is plus 190. For San Francisco is minus 230. Give me San Fran, best team in the league, and they prove it Monday night while everyone's watching. Corey, who you got?
This one was really tough for me, actually. I think the Ravens are really, really good. 49ers, I guess. I'm not happy with it.
5 is kind of big. Kyle, who you got, man?
So Monday night in my home league, I've got Christian McCaffrey, and I expect to be down 15 to 20 points. And I expect him to ball out Monday night, and Debo to ball out Monday night, and Brandon Ayuk probably not to ball out because he hasn't been. George Kittle probably won't ball out because he hasn't been. I just think that the 49ers are too good, and they have so many pieces on both sides of the ball that they're really, really hard to stop. 5 is a lot in this matchup, but I don't think San Francisco is going to have too hard of a time handling that 5-point spread. So give me San Francisco minus 5.
Fellas, this is the biggest slate of games we have ever picked.
And
we got through it faster than we ever have.
You guys didn't let me talk. I wasn't allowed to talk.
We ran through these games. Are there any notes that you want to give out now, Kyle? Or
yeah, I think the biggest note that I want to give out is that I let everybody down this past week. I lost in the Brad Johnson Daily Football Roundup Fantasy Football Invitational. I only have about 2 more weeks to hug this title because in 2 weeks this is going to somebody else, and I expect the both of you to face off against each other in the championship because you're both alive. And if this title's going to go to anybody, I'd rather keep it in the champion family and it go to Corey. Sorry, Aaron. You're a Bears fan. You don't really know what championships are like. So,
Wow.
it just makes more sense for it to go with Corey because,
Appreciate it.
he's been there. He's done that. He's seen the Patriots win a lot of Super Bowls. Sorry, Aaron. Sorry, bud. But Corey, bring this home for us.
We'll do.
Somehow, some way, an upset is pulled, and the title does not stay within the 12-ounce Curl Route podcast family, the NWO, some might call it. I believe we should have whomever wins and receives the title live on the show to make some picks. I think that'd be a fun thing to do.
We just keep the title and delete them from all social media.
League didn't exist. Just a joke.
I think that's a great idea. That we would be going into week 18. So, and I think we're going to continue to do the 6-pack challenge all the way through the Super Bowl, and really, really find. I want my championship in the 6-pack challenge to really be meaningful. And I want to give you guys as much as a chance because I expect to be up 4 or 5 games after this week. Actually, I don't even know if I can. I don't know if we pick that many different. But yeah, Aaron, you are 1 game over 500 right now in the 6-pack challenge. And we got ourselves a little holiday 16-pack this week. So
of the 16, we only picked 7 together.
Oh, wow.
So there's going to be some movement in the 6-pack challenge then.
Some movement, boys.
Yeah. I did want to say Montez Sweat, probably my next Bears jersey. I need some more white jerseys. Did you mention it, Kyle, that he's leading the Bears and the Commanders in sacks? That's just an incredible sack. 6.5 sacks as a Commander and now 6 sacks as a Chicago Bear. Well worth the trade. Ryan Poles made up for his 2nd-round pick he sent off for Chase Claypool last year. He made the correct trade this year. And I'm very, very happy with Montez Sweat as a Chicago Bear. I think he's here for the long haul. Also, the Monday night game where Seattle beat Philly, that improved the New England Patriots' strength of schedule to now they are, I believe, even with Carolina. So coming down to that wire for the number 1 overall pick. Corey, if you guys end up with it, who you got your eyes on?
I don't want Caleb Williams, but it'll probably be Caleb Williams.
No, New England's bringing Jimmy Garoppolo back next year when Josh McDaniels is your guys' head coach.
Oh, that'd be interesting. As it stands right now, yeah. New England has the number 2 pick.
Yeah, well. Anything else, or are we closing this show out in less than an hour?
I mean, I think that, I think we've picked our picks. I'm excited. I'm excited for Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We've got multiple games. We got 2 on Saturday, 3 on Monday. Is there 3 on Christmas?
3 on Monday,
1 on Monday. Yeah.
1 on Thursday. So that means like 10 on Sunday.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be. I can't wait to sit down on Sunday with the Crusher, with the Guru, and watch the Packers. And it looks like he's watching because he's posting comments on YouTube. But I can't wait to watch the Packers crush the Panthers on Sunday.
I forgot. We got a little bit of a household divided.
House divided.
Yeah, I picked a winner. He picked a loser. Gonna rub it in his face after the Packers win. That's for sure.
I'm excited. We have 2. You could argue we have 2 Super Bowl previews. The San Fran and Baltimore game is going to be amazing, and then I think Dallas and Miami at 4:05 on Sunday is going to be amazing as well. I think the over is definitely going to hit on that.
Yeah, Dallas is a different team in the playoffs. We know that. As soon as they play San Francisco, they shit their britches and they put Zeke in at center, or they run a quarterback draw. Dallas is a completely different team in the playoffs. So wait for them to play San Francisco, and it's like when a guy sees a really attractive woman and he tries to talk to her, and the words that come out they don't make sense. That's Dallas when they play San Francisco. It just doesn't make sense for them. They don't know how to get it together. So,
well,
britches, huh? I ain't heard that one in a while.
Well, I mean, you make some good points there, Kyle. They do fall apart when it comes to the playoff time. But I mean, I guess we'll just get on out of here, and we'll come back next week and talk about what our standings are at. See how much movement there was. See if myself and Corey are playing each other in fantasy football. It would be next week, right? Or is it a 2-game?
Yeah, no, it'd be next week. We don't do 18 or week 18.
Yeah, so it'd be next week that possibly myself and Corey are playing each other for that DFR championship. And if I win it, you guys will see it hanging behind me, probably here, maybe here. I don't know.
I'm about to make some more room for all my trophies.
What's going to be real funny is when one of you guys win it, you're just going to disappear from the podcast because I'm not giving the title up. So we're going to have to cut one of you guys out.
My ass
what title?
Up one day. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah. I don't know what title. This is mine. Okay.
Oh, okay.
I want to recount.
2 more weeks.
Go to Daily Football Roundup's YouTube page and subscribe. Hit the little bell and it'll tell you when we go live. But we go live every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Like, comment, subscribe on all these videos. We are live on Facebook as well as YouTube. Soon to be Instagram, which will also be under the Daily Football Roundup Instagram page. We will be live. And if you don't catch us live, you can always catch us on replay on Spotify and on the iHeartRadio app. We are on both of those. So, and if you do listen on those, give us a follow, give us 5 stars. We'd appreciate it quite greatly. But I guess until next week, you can tell them, Corey.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Go ahead, Kyle. I'm sorry.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.